Hi, and welcome to another episode of StrongKnits podcast. My name is Trish, and I will be sharing with you a few things that I've done over the past few months. I haven't recorded since February. I only have about 2 days a week where I could record, but I've been busy at work, so I haven't been able to until now. And I'm still pressed for time because my boyfriend will be home soon from work, so I'm trying to get this done before he shows up. I'm going to be showing a few finished objects, a hoe, and a few whips that I'm working on. First finished object is Down the Road by Katherine Vaughan. It was knit in fingering weight out of a sock blank that I dyed myself. And it looks like I did not trim the ends. They're woven in, but I didn't trim them. So here it is. So it can be either a scarf or a shawl, how the pattern is written. And I did the scarf because the sock blank wouldn't have had enough yarn to do a shawl. And the pattern has you do 25% for this beginning part of your yarn weight, so you weigh it before. Then you do from 25% to 75% in this middle portion, and then the last 25% at the end. So it's a really nice knit. I enjoyed it. Took me a long time though, because I just kept putting it down. But that is finally off the needles. The next one I'm calling the Simple Stripped Cowl. I didn't follow a pattern. I just grabbed some yarn and cast on. Last time I showed it off as a scarf, but I didn't have enough yarn to turn it into a scarf, and the shops were closed. And I wasn't able to go get more, but here it is. And I knit it out of Rico Design, but I don't remember which yarn line exactly it was. And I don't have the colors because I threw the tags away. But it's pretty nice. And it fits fairly well. You can wrap it over one more time if you want it really snug. So, and there goes my hair. Next, we have the High Desert Socks by Lindsey Fowler. I have a sock blocker here, but it's for one of my hose, and it's too big. But here is one of the socks. And it's knit using fingering held double. And I used Yoshita. I know I'm pronouncing that wrong. Merino sock in the colorway Cosmopolitan. That's the pink one. And then the light blue and the dark blue. That is Cascade Heritage in Sapphire and Anise. And I used a US size 3, which is a 3.25 millimeter. They are really soft and squishy and wonderful. And luckily Germany's been really weird lately, and it's still cold. Still cold enough to be able to wear hand knits. So that's pretty nice. The next one I'm actually wearing. It's Ricoletta by Locatelli. I knit it out of Madeline Tosh Vintage Odyssey. So let me stand up a little bit. So here it is. You knit this portion while you're knitting the rest, and it does stripe. It was all one color, but some of the balls were different dye lots, but it's okay. So you knit this while you're knitting the rest of this. And the back is also all lace. And then the collar comes up like this. So I wore this, or I knit this to wear at work because I work in an office that has AC, which is not heard of here in Germany. Sorry, adjusting. So it keeps me fairly warm, and I have it a little bit long, and it's just nice to wrap around in. The next one is What the Fade by Andrea Mowry. I'll have to put a picture in, probably right here, because I already gave it to the person who I knit it for. It is a coworker, and she asked me in late 2020 if I could knit her a shawl, and so I did. And she thought I forgot about it when I gave it to her yesterday. She's like, I thought you completely forgot. And I was like, no, I was working on it. It just takes some time. But she was really happy, and it ended up being huge. It was really, really big. And for that one, I used Squish Fiber Arts in their MCS in Beachcomber, Aegean, Acid, and Memories color. And also Madlintosh Pashmina in Translation and Kitten. And sorry if I'm looking down, I have my notes right here. So I also did some weaving, and of course when I'm ready to podcast, I can't find it anywhere. So I wove my coworker's wife some orange and black towels. I had some left over from another project she wanted me to do, and she loves colors orange and black, and I just decided to do it just to use up the yarn, and I gave it to her, and then a few weeks later I get a call from him, my coworker, asking if I could make more towels. So now she wants me to make a whole bunch more towels. So that's nice that somebody appreciates what I made, right? Another thing I made was a lap blanket out of Cascade 220 that I had lying around, and I just wanted to use up. Again, my office is cold, and so I use it to cover up my lap while I'm sitting in my chair, and just came up with a plaid design on, I think it's called plaidmaker.com. You can choose which colors you want, and just sit there and play with how the plaid is going to work out, and just use that, and it's a pretty neat tool. I think I spent several hours messing around on it, and the blanket actually turned out pretty nice, so happy about that. I also wove a little rug for my loom to sit underneath the loom, so it's not, we have hardwood floors, I didn't want it to scratch up the floors, so now I made its own little rug, and I don't remember the yarns I used for that. If I remember, I'll post them. So next up, I have a hoe, which is one of my boyfriend's socks. So this is the work sock set by Pamela Graham out of the Leo and Roxy yarn. He has a size 12 foot, so it is ginormous. And he usually only lets me do shorties, but he said I could do a full one out of this because he thought it looked cool. And then I already started the other one, and I'm to the point where I need to add the heel. So luckily, one of the computers that I use at work takes forever to load, and I get quite a bit of sock knitting done while I'm waiting for it to do what it needs to do. Alright. Next I have whips. So, excuse the noise, I have stuff piled all over the place. And it's going to be difficult to show this because I'm knitting the sleeves 2 at a time. But if I can manage this, I'm showing the back, but the back and the front are identical. This is the Atlantis Sweater, and it's by Drops. And I know how a lot of people feel about Drops, but this is for my boyfriend's mom, and she chose the pattern. This is what she wanted. So not really much choice that I can give. And I am knitting that on Chow Goose in US 4, which is a 3.5 millimeter. And for the yarn, I'm using Rico Design and Creative Melange, probably mispronouncing that, lace in color 11. But here it is in the ball. It's so pretty. I actually originally bought this yarn with some mohair for a different project, but she wanted blue and green, so it's hers now. But they'll always have more, right? But it has an interesting construction, and there's mitered squares in there, which is very interesting, and I'm just using a plain white. There we go. Sorry about that. So I have 2 more full rows of the mitered squares, and then a row of half. I've been weaving in my ends as I go, but I don't trim them until the end, so they're still hanging out. But I wanted to get the sleeves done first while it's still fairly small, so I'm not flipping around a big, huge sweater. Next up, which is in my bag, so I'm not going to show that one off, I'm knitting a sock which has no pattern. Just make it up as I go. It's just a plain rib sock for my boyfriend's grandma. I knit her a pair of socks for her birthday and for Christmas every year. Well, almost every year. And this time I'm using Knit Picks Hawthorne Fingering in the Confetti Speckle and the Compass Kettle Dyed, which is a yellow. The Confetti Speckle has blue, yellow, I think a little bit of pink and some green, and I chose to go with a yellow contrast. The next one in a Knit Picks bag, everything else is not in a bag. I am doing Vaka by Caitlin French. My coworker's wife, same one, who I wove the towels for. This is who it's going to. She doesn't know. And I doubt she watches this, because, yeah. He actually contacted me because I have another one in blue that I had at work. And he wanted me to make her one in orange. Again, her favorite color is orange. So I just started it because he just asked me last week, I think. It's in Barocco Vintage. So in the colorway 51130, which if I remember correctly is tangerine. It's very orange. And then I'm going to do the outline in black. And I have mine here. I actually did this as a test knit when she first came out with it. Mine is in Cascade 220. Oh, there we go. So here it is. And I did, I can't remember the colors, but blue and outline with Pico and purple. So hers will be orange and black because that's what she loves. Well, since that bag had another project, my mom asked me to knit 100% linen socks, so I'm trying it out. I'm not sure how well it will feel on the feet because it's not very stretchy or anything. This one that I found is fairly soft, and I don't think I have the ball band. But I just started it, so there's not much to really see. But I'll let you guys know how it turns out. She either wanted that or 100% wool, which I also have, but I wanted to try that one first because never done it before. Next project, which I don't have notes on because I forgot about it and it was sitting there when I was getting everything ready. I'm actually pretty excited for because doing the What the Fade, I fell in love with brioche, so I decided to do a brioche sweater. This is Broadleaf, which I believe is by Pip and Pin, and it is absolutely gorgeous. I used one of the kits, so I didn't choose the colors. This is actually the same one that's in their pattern, the same colors. And I can't remember any of the yarn details, but I'll post it below. So this is the front, and you do the front and the back identical and then seam them together, I think that's what the pattern said. And then you knit sleeves, and here's the back. And I'm using Chalgoo's US 4, which is a 3.5 millimeter. And I'm enjoying this, but I have to sit down with no distractions at all, or I will mess up, which I've learned the hard way. Because I think I forgot an increase somewhere in here, and it's all messed up. But I just made it work, because one, tinking brioche, it's not terrible, but with the mohair and everything, it's easy to lose track of where you are, and then the mohair gets all tangled up and everything. And that's actually all I have. I just wanted to give a quick update and get an episode out, because it's been a long while and I had a lot to show. Now, I don't know, not much has been happening, just work as usual. That's usually what keeps me pretty busy. A lot of times I have to stay late, and so I can't podcast when I want to. And I bought a camera for podcasting, but I did a little test video and it picks up a lot of noise. A lot of noise. So I need to find maybe a microphone or something. I'm recording again on my phone because this doesn't pick up quite as much noise. Because like if I just touch this piece of paper, I'm pretty certain that other camera would pick it up, and that's kind of annoying. I'm trying to think of what else. No, nothing else. Just 3D printing stuff, just boring things. And yeah, nothing else much to report. So I hope everyone has a good month, and yeah, happy knitting. Bye.